gorgeous.
Well, our old one is 32 years old, so.
Our old one is over 20, and I just keep thinking it's just going to go someday, and
Yeah.
we're going to be stuck with a lot of spoiled food. So, oh my goodness. Oh gosh. So it's good to see you.
It's good
oh
to
my
see you.
gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Been a while.
I know. I mean, Zoom is really. I'm so glad you do that because it really gives me. My schedule is so tight now. I'm finding that I'm just busy a lot on Thursdays, but I said I am going to squeeze this class in, and
Well, good.
Zoom makes it possible. So
Yeah. Well, I of course started back in the pandemic
yeah,
because that was how I could do classes then.
yeah.
And so we all discovered, wow.
Well, it's a good way to do it, It's I mean, the best way, obviously, is being here in person. But if it was a choice, if I had thought that the only way I could do this class was by coming here, I would not have been able to do it.
Yeah.
So this is perfect. But so I have the book on reserve that you recommended to me.
Oh, yeah, go good.
So yeah, it's because now I'm on Palace. I went to my library, and they were all phasing out Libby, and going to this site called Palace.
Huh.
I'm not crazy about it because you pull up a book, and if one title that you search, one word in your search is in the title, you get 1,000 books with that word in it, and it's just, it's like overwhelming. And I said, I really just give me the book. That's it. So I really prefer the Libby, and they're going to keep it, but it's not going to be updated, which, But you do Audible, right?
Yep.
Yeah. You have it,
It is. I listened to that one on Audible.
Yeah.
It was very well done on Audible.
I like the Audible books. The only downside of it is that finding a place, when you when you stop the book or if you fall asleep in the middle of a chapter.
I have done that.
Me too. That's why I'm speaking from experience. Oh goodness.
So we have 4 people. 2 of whom I know will be on Zoom. One I'm not sure whether he's going to make it today or not. He's not been feeling well. Bill,
yeah.
Billy-O.
Yep, Billy, I know. Yep.
And Linda usually would be here, but she felt she was, she either had eaten something bad or she's coming down with a cold.
Well, we appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. There's somebody.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. That's me. Oh, I missed somebody else.
Oh, that's Linda.
Yep. And Billy-O and... Oh, okay.
There he is.
Joanne.
I'm here.
Hi.
If I can get my camera to work, I'll be here. Here we
Yeah. I thought you were just V for victory.
Yeah, right. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Indeed. Good morning. Morning, Bill.
All right, here we
Morning.
go.
I made it.
You made it.
Yay.
Yes.
How are you, Linda?
We can't hear you though. See your mouth working, but we don't hear you.
You must be muted, Linda.
Well, except it doesn't show she's muted, so it's one of
No.
those weird ones.
Huh.
It seems to happen often on Zoom. I don't know why.
Yeah, I know. Does that, do anything? No.
Yeah.
Well, could you hear me, Linda? No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just give you a thumbs up.
It's
Oh,
going that direction. Right.
you can hear me,
Right.
but you
It's like
can't
your mute
speak.
button, it's your sound button, or all the things you can do.
I know.
Sometimes it's getting off and coming back on. That happened yesterday on a call I was on.
Ah,
They just had to get off and get back on, and then it worked. And we don't know why. And they're
right.
like a techie person.
Ah,
I always think it's because I don't know enough, but that's not really the case, I don't think.
Yeah. Okay. Let me.
There you go. We heard you.
yeah, we
Say it
heard you,
again.
Linda.
You heard it?
Yeah.
There
Oh my
you are.
goodness. You heard me muttering under my breath.
Yes, we did indeed.
Okay. Okay.
Clean
Yeah,
now, you know.
it's Zoom changes every time I come into it, and it's like, okay, now what setting do I have to do? I don't use it
Well,
often enough. So it's
Well, they
like,
do
okay.
change
oh,
it.
you're lucky.
They update frequently without telling you.
Yes.
Yep, they do. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So. So anyone arrive with a question today? No.
I have questions about the sinking and rising of the qigong, but I think that's something that you were planning on addressing today, so I'll be patient.
How did you know, Linda? I'll be addressing that in 1 through 4, 5.
Uh-huh.
So, yes, definitely approaching that. Anything else anyone have?
Just a question with the qigong that we do at the beginning. Is that done once or is it repeated before?
The ideal number is 20 repetitions. It doesn't have to be that many, but it should be an even number. And so sometimes your schedule is not permitting doing 20 repetitions. So do what you can. I kind of feel that 6 is sort of a minimum. There are.
You think what, David? It's very low.
I'm sorry?
What's the minimum? It's hard. It was hard to hear you. What you said was the minimum?
6.
Oh, yeah. Same as with gods. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know whether that's any help. I just turned the volume up.
Okay.
I'll speak up.
Good.
So, any other question at the moment? Okay. So, we're going to start indeed with very basic things here in this Qigong. I want you to watch what I'm doing. I'm going to do the first part. And as I go through those movements, I want you to be aware of the straightening and the bending. And I'm going to, I'll come up here a little bit so I'm a little closer to you guys. Carol's right here so she can see me.
I can see.
And when we talk about bending and straightening, we're talking principally about the spine. So in that first preparatory movement, from what I think of as a transitional movement, we do have a bending of the spine. And we can think of 1 and 2 as a 3 count. So we have 1, 2, 3, and you're straight. So notice that I have continued to straighten as the arms go back. You're not fully straightened here and then just move the arms back. The spine continues to straighten as you go up through 1 and 2. And then 3, we have what's referred to as 3 bends. So we have 1, 2, and 3. And then as you go through 4 and 5, you can think of this as 3 straightenings. 1, 2, 3. Okay? So that's just a really easy way to kind of remember those movements. 3 is the one that is particularly difficult because very often we get a bend here and a bend here, and then all of a sudden we focus on the arms and the hands and nothing happens with the spine. You have to still bend there. And it doesn't have to be big, but it does need to be present. Anybody have a question about that at the moment?
Can you show us what that looks like? Do that again. Show us.
Oh, that,
So-
sure. So here's the end of 2.
Right.
So we have 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
And then here we have 4, well, 1, 2, 3. So when you've completed movement 3, we have movement 4, 5, boom. Okay? Any questions from the Zoom crowd? Okay. So, so the place where your hands have come over the head here, you're actually focusing the Laogong points to that point where your tongue touches at the roof of the mouth. And one of the things about that position is that you're bending, of course, you're bending the spine here. So the position isn't straight out in front of you, it's down a little bit. So the Laogong point is facing straight into that point in the mouth. And then you go on into the third one. Now, one of the things that last week I talked about how 1 through 5 was the macrocosmic circuit and 6 and 7 were the microcosmic. Of course, both of those are going on all the time. And one of the things to note here is that this point in the mouth, where the tongue touches the roof of the mouth, is where the governing vessel, which starts at the perineum and comes over the top of the head to that point, changes over to the conception vessel, which goes down the front of the body, down to the perineum, where it changes over again. So we're working with both the macrocosmic and the microcosmic circuit here. So I said all of that. So The governing vessel and the conception vessel are two of the 8 extraordinary meridians in acupuncture, which connect actually to pretty much everything in your body, every acupuncture point you have. So going from the perineum up to the crown of the head, and from the crown of the head down to the perineum along the center line, is one of the things that Chinese medicine always teaches as a form of Qigong. So at this point, when your hands turn over, this point here, one of the things that very often happens is that we think about the fingers going down and the elbows going up, but the shoulders also go up, which will tend to drive the hands out of position, because we'd like the Laogong point to simply rotate in space. And so what this means is that when you do that particular movement, that you don't want to lift the shoulders. You have to relax the shoulders and allow the fingers to drop and the elbows to lift slightly. They don't have to lift way up in the air. So that's one of the places that it's very easy to lose what you're trying to do, because we're at this point, that movement of 3 pulls energy not only over the head but through the brain. And that changeover point where you are dropping the fingers and slightly lifting the elbows is what drops the energy on down the conception vessel in front. So it's a really important movement in this flow. I always have extra stuff for you to read. So every form of Qigong that works with the brain always is concerned with both being able to energize the brain and move the blood to and from the brain and back to your heart. So as the qi starts circulating between the brain and the heart, your thinking generally becomes better. So now we have washed the brain. That's what this movement has done, coming over the top of the head. Then we're just really going to flush the brain. So that's what that movement here is doing, is flushing the brain. So that the last part of, it is the last part of cleaning the brain. And that's a term that I really like, called brainwashing, and you'll perhaps have run into that before. So remember, there are 3 parts, and that's the opening. And then there are the 3 closings. So here's what you have to do on the 3rd bend. The palm stays still. You let your elbows go up and your fingers drop. And that's what drops the blood out of your brain. This action of pivoting on Laogong is the place where the energy switches over. So there is a tendency that once you get over the top, for your hands to go wider or wander around, but it's actually a very precise thing. So the arm lifts up, which has a whole additional effect of literally starting to move blood into your internal organs. It aids the blood from the brain dropping down into the internal organs. Also, note that your shoulders don't lift. You want to keep your shoulders down. It's your fingers that are pointing downward. So, again, we want to be aware of our 70% rule. Now, if you get this right and you really do it, you'll actually start feeling something dropping down your brain. And then that's how you'll know that you're really doing what you want to be doing. So, precision in this, of course, is really important because it produces the effect we're trying to produce. And then the next thing is you're going to straighten up. Now, why don't you all stand up and let's try this. So we're just going to work from the beginning through 5 at the moment. And I'll do it once with you, and then I'd like you to just do a few repetitions and let me see how you're doing. So we want to start with feet comfortably together. And we use the same way of stepping out that we have before, which in this case would be to spiral down into the left and step out with the right foot, and then with a little curve coming into the center and into your basic structure. And it's good actually to just take a moment and allow your breathing to settle, to be aware that you're in the structure you'd like to be in, and releasing as much tension as you possibly can at this moment. And then when you're ready to begin, you allow yourself to bend the spine and sink a little, twisting inward. We'll talk about twisting later. And then coming up in 1, and then continuing to extend as your index finger connects at the base of the skull. And then starting to bend again a little bit as the elbows come in, more as the palms come over the top of the head and come to that point of facing where the vessels change over. And then continue to bend a little as the elbows rise and the fingers drop. And then rising, your hands are flowing down the sidelines to the quad, 4, and then around the hip and down the outside of the leg. That movement, of course, being very much like a dragon and a tiger. So, let's do it again together. So we're just starting from, you've stepped out, do that transitional movement, sinking down, and then rising slowly, straightening slowly. The arms are extending, 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 extending all the way to this point. And then coming in, you're bending down, bending a little further, continuing to bend, rising, all the way to this point. So the body is in constant movement, as are the arms and the legs. So try it on your own. Do it, just try it a few times. See if you have any questions. The only thing I would say, Joanne, is to um, when you bring the elbows in on the beginning of movement three,
Mhm.
try to bring the elbows to your sideline, and
Okay.
then
Yep.
as the hands come over, you can let the elbows spread
Gotcha.
because they have to there. Yeah.
Mhm.
Otherwise, that looks pretty good.
Thank you.
So, Linda, as you go up in one, you want to keep the arms continuing to extend all the way through from beginning to end. Um, you are straightening up through all of that. That was good, but I I didn't feel like the arms had the intention to extend through the whole movement. And then on three, when you fold the elbows in, they need to come clear into your sideline. Remember, that's the line from shoulder's nest down to the quad. And then as you come over the top of the head, they're going to begin to spread because you need to make room for them to come down the body and keep the armpit open. When you connect the Laogong points at that point in the mouth, the movement is to try to keep the Laogong point really motionless and pivot on it so that the fingers drop as the elbows rise, but the hands don't drop. They stay where they are. Okay?
Okay. Good.
No, nothing to it.
Right. Easy peasy.
Okay. Now why? That's weird. So, Bill, as you're going up in movement one, you really want to have that sense that the arms are extending constantly. So they're getting longer and longer and longer and longer all the way till the index finger touches at the base of the skull.
Okay.
And then as you come over the top of the head, remember you want to let the elbows come into the sidelines and then spread as you come down to that connection point.
Yeah, I have trouble getting the elbows in. I think my
Um,
body is in the way.
because what?
My body is in the way. I don't,
um,
I don't know, something's in the way.
then maybe you need to let the elbows extend out a little more, and then you'll have room to bring them in as you bring the hands over the top. They don't go in first and then come over. They're coming in as you're coming over, and then immediately spreading out to make room to keep a space in your armpit and go down. And when your hands come down the front of the body, after they've pivoted, that pivot leads them into the sidelines of the body. And so you're bringing them down from the shoulder's nest to the quad and then around the hip and down the outside of the leg. Yeah, good.
I can see that the bending and the movements are not in sync anymore. I either seem to be concentrating on one or the other.
Well,
Obviously, I haven't done this enough.
it takes time to put them all together.
Yeah.
Shoot. I can't see. Sorry, Carol. I'll be with you in a moment.
Nope,
Z-
I'm taking advantage of all the tips you've been giving people.
Um, Zoom is not doing what it usually does here. And I'm huh. No. Oh no, really.
David? David?
Um, I am having a real problem with Zoom today. Um,
Well, if it would help, David, I'm having a lot of problem with the form.
yeah.
It kind of goes hand in hand.
uh, I am having a real problem with Zoom today.
You can't see us, or what's the problem, David?
um, I can't unpin Bill, which means I lose. I can't get the view where I have all of you in the same size, and I can't
That's
enlarge
weird.
me.
Yeah, that's weird because I have mine on speaker, and while you're talking, I still only see. Well, Bill is the larger person here. Yeah, the larger
Yeah,
box. So I'm having the same problem.
I know.
I'm
Or
not,
it's system wide, I guess I could say, at least for our system right now.
Yep.
That's
I'm
So
weird.
not
so it
large.
is weird. So we'll let go of this. This is
Okay.
something to work on this week. Um, Anybody have a question at the moment here?
Bill, did you have a question?
Yeah, I do. I believe it or not, well, you will. Um, I have lost track of when to bend and when not, when to straighten up.
Okay. So when we begin, we have that what I will sometimes call a transitional movement, and you are bending on that movement to prepare to begin. On 1 and 2, you're straightening. So 1 comes up to here. 2 is over the head and touch at the base of the skull. Then on movement 3, you're going to have 3 bends on movement 3. So you have 1 as the elbows come in and start over the top of the head. 2 as you continue over the top of the head, connecting to that point. 3 as your hands pivot on the Laogong point, dropping the fingers and raising the elbows, and then straighten on 4 down to the qua, and 5 around the hip and down to the earth. Okay?
Yeah, I heard you.
Okay. You can see me very small, I think, but
You are very small. I didn't realize you were that small,
yeah,
David.
I've gotten smaller.
Oh, that
Okay,
explains.
so let's let go of this, and hopefully next time we meet, we'll be able to control Zoom a little better. Um, I don't know what's going on there. So let's sit down.
Okay. All right. We're getting good at that.
Well, that it is important to be good at that.
Yes. I noticed there are some positions to sitting too, though. You do try to make things complicated.
Okay. So We're going to start with a guided meditation. Obviously, meditation ultimately is something that's done without my voice interfering with it, but that's down the road a bit. So, I want you just to think about your posture for sitting in meditation. So one thing is that you want to have the back as straight as reasonably possible without being rigid. It's important to think about all the places we talk about being open when we're standing. We want to be open when we're seated. And we want the feet to be flat on the floor. Now, in most Buddhist meditation and Hindu, they're encouraged to cross the legs. And this is a very good posture and has certain benefits, but it does tend to block the flow of the energy connecting down through the legs to the earth. And so a lot of Taoist meditation is done actually in a seated position like this, or it can be done cross-legged part of the time too. But we want to think of the feet being flat on the floor so that we can really get that good connection to the earth. The hands, you can just fold them together in your lap if you like. They can rest on the thighs. Master Joe liked to lightly tuck the thumb and make a soft fist, and you want to make sure that's a soft fist if you're doing this, because a tight fist you won't be able to hold very long without discomfort. So a soft fist and rest on the thighs. And this, I particularly like this because, for one thing, it helps you keep the armpits open. You can do it in the other positions too, but this soft fist with the thumbs tucked in tends to encourage that. And so we're going to just begin with using longevity breathing. And so just take a moment and focus on your breath. And at this point, I want you to keep your eyes open. We're going to do the beginning of this with the eyes open. And I think I might suggest that it would be best if you don't face your computer. So if you need to adjust your chair, it's good not to be looking directly at me for this particular exercise. One of the things is that if you close your eyes, you can feel things going on inside. But if you open your eyes, you have to directly go inside, or it's hard to feel what's going on in there. So just let the eyes observe what's in front of you. There's what you can see, and there is also what is happening inside. And I want you to turn your focus inward to that, to what's happening inside. Just let whatever's out be there. It's not going anywhere. The walls are what the walls are, and the space is what the space is. But is what's inside of you aware of all of that? Now, when you start observing this, maybe you can find much of your insides, can't find much of your insides, and maybe you can. Only find a little bit. And where is it? In your chest? Or maybe it's in your brain? Or a part of an arm or a foot? Whatever it is, it's okay. So whatever's inside of you, can you recognize as being there? So you just want to do this one very, very simple thing. Not for you to look at what's inside you, but for the inside of you to start seeing what's outside of it. If you recognize what's inside you, what inside you is recognizing all of this. Seeing it, hearing it, feeling it. What inside of you is capable of recognizing what's going on inside your body? If you're going to feel what's happening inside your body, something in you has to be recognizing that this is happening. And that could go one of two ways. You could just feel what's happening, and that would be your outside, trying to feel what's in the middle, between your inside and whatever it is you see out there. Or you could just feel for what is it inside you that can recognize what you're feeling inside of you. And that's a better way to go. When you try to feel what's blocked or open, you don't want to be looking inside yourself as though you are over there looking in. You want to be inside yourself, recognizing what's around you. Because it is from the depth of what is inside yourself that you are recognizing everything. And then we have to reverse the direction. Not you seeing out, and through that you kind of recognize what's inside. We want to be inside. And that what's inside is recognizing what's outside. And as you do this, let your breathing go a little more slowly. The biggest thing you're trying to do with your breathing, when you inhale and you exhale, is you want to breathe with your belly, your sides, and your kidneys. And very least, you want to breathe with your diaphragm. Now there is a place inside you, if you just hold it stable, that will allow you to breathe smoothly without any effort. And there are also 100 places inside you that will make your breath flutter. So look for that stable place. For many people, it can be the diaphragm, or your belly, or your back, or your liver. It could even be your kidneys. Or it could just be something inside you that closes to a part that will activate your belly, your sides, and your lower back. Find this spot and let your breathing become smooth as you can. Now, if you could turn your mind inward to what's inside you, you can recognize if that breath is being caused by something inside you. Or is it almost like it's an external event? Loud breathing is an external event. That's not something inside you. So what is it inside you that will let your breathing become smooth and allow your mind to slowly settle down and move into that place inside you that can recognize everything that's going on, both in your body and in your mind? Not with an iron focus, like you're focusing on a picture. Just be aware of the whole thing. And let your breath become smooth and even. You still have to find that one place inside you that will let that happen. And from that smooth and even breath, recognize what's inside you. Be aware of everything that's happening inside. Not this place and not that, or not here and not there, but everything that's happening. And if you can do this, you're going to start becoming present to yourself. Half of you isn't going to be in one place and half in another. And you can't do this by lasering your conscious mind. It will only allow you to go and get one place and not the others. So let this breathing happen so that what is inside you can be aware of everything inside of you and everything outside of you. Whether you're looking forward or down, you see what's in front of you. And you're aware of what's happening inside your body and your mind. So they're not separated. Your conscious, externally seeking mind. And that which is inside you that can recognize what is happening deep inside you. They are the same. They join together. The outside and the inside have to join. And now another step. If your outside and inside are joined, you can choose to look at things that are happening inside of you, just like you could choose to look at things that are outside of you. People have relationships. Boyfriends, girlfriends, bosses, employees, parents, children, whatever. And at times it goes smoothly, and at times it goes bumpy. You love your children, but there are times when they go off and it takes everything you have to keep on loving them. There's nothing weird about this. It's the way things happen. One wind comes in and does what it does, and then it's gone. So externally, focus on something outside of you. Perhaps look at a particular spot on the wall. That's clearly outside of you. But from that stable place in the center of you, see the spot on the wall. And then the trick is not to lose your attention when you look at the spot on the wall and look at what's inside you. See what it's doing to you so that you don't break up like a bad television or computer signal. Stay with it. If the spot on the wall starts to change into something else, try to stay with it and be aware of what's happening inside you. Now, if the spot turning into something else, maybe like an elephant and it makes you insecure or angry or sad or happy. But the odds are you would not be able to pay attention to that and the spot on the wall. If your insides weren't calm and stable, you would lose the ability to recognize what was out there and what was happening inside you. What is it doing to that stable point inside you? It could disassociate you from the moment you are in, because either that elephant would take over your mind and you lose your insides, or your insides could go funny and you'd lose your outsides. The only thing you could say is that you would not be in the moment, because your outsides and your insides were not aware of each other. They were not doing what they could do. Now go inside and pick a spot. You want to start with a typical Taoist spot? Pick the lower dantian. But you can pick your heart or your upper dantian or any energy center, and that's fine. And look at that spot until you can recognize what your inside is experiencing while seeing that spot. Many people do not know what they are feeling when they're having an experience that could potentially be very emotional. They don't even know they're having an emotion. And that's why if someone asks them, "How do you feel about that?" they reply, "I don't know." They've gone dead to it, because they really are dead to what their inside is feeling. Now there's no judgment about that. When you go around like, dislike, neutral, but you need to be aware of it if you want to be aware of chi in your body. Whether it's physical chi, emotional chi, mental chi, or psychic chi. If you're going to recognize that chi, and if that chi is open or blocked, you actually have to be able to experience it. Until you could get past the outside-inside barrier, you're really not going to clearly experience it, because your inside could distract you from your outside, or your outside could distract you from your inside. But when they do come together, neither distracts from the other. Now I want you to close your eyes. just for a moment, go to the top of your head and see what you feel inside your body. Instead of seeing outside, what is there inside? You are just turning your visualization inward. But try and go past that. Find the place that's deep inside you that can just recognize what's happening inside your body. There's no particular technique for doing this. It simply does. Let that experience grow until that awareness can start seeing and experiencing more and more of your body. And now I want you to start from the top of your head again and slowly go down. How far in does your awareness go? 1 inch, 2 inches? As you try to go inward, don't make that going inward something that is still outside of you. Let it be part of what's inside of you, not separate from what's inside of you. And very slowly go down your body, only as fast as you can, and still find your awareness going inside yourself. And when you can't go inside anymore, just take what you have gotten and stay with it. Let that stable point that's inside of you keep on recognizing a bit more if it can. And now go down a little bit further. Remember, your breathing wants to arrive at that one point where you can inhale and exhale smoothly because you have found a stability point that your breath can move around. There's a natural tendency, if you can feel what's inside you, that either on your inhale or your exhale, to feel the sense that you're going from deep inside your body toward your skin, or from your skin to deep inside your body. But stay with the stability point between outside and inside. And don't try to affect how you feel it. Just feel the movement. Don't change it. Don't make it better. And don't make it worse. And in the process of doing this, the inside of you will become clearer. It won't be fuzzy. It won't be an idea. It will be a felt experience. And that's what you're after. You want to experience the inside of yourself. And there's no reason to be happy or sad if you find anything. There may be a reason in time to change what you find. Life is about change. But there's no reason to think that what you find is wonderful or terrible. You're just a live human being. And human beings have a range of experiences. And that's just how it goes. And you can pause and relax. Any questions or comments? So this week, play with this meditation. Don't forget to keep working on your breathing. And we'll continue next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
Just say hi to everybody.
Yeah.
Take care.
Take care.
We'll see you.
Suddenly it came back.